Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am going to be doing a bit of a casual random Q&A because I thought it'd be interesting. So I asked some questions over on my Facebook page, my Instagram and some other places, and I've just compiled a list of questions. Some are pretty random and I'm just going to answer them for you. So the first question that I have is from I Know About Music over on Instagram. And his question was, favourite Stones album? My favourite Rolling Stones album is Exile on Main Street. Personally, I think it's the best record that they have ever released. I love it. I love all the songs on it. I like the diversity. I love the story of like how they recorded it in France, and I think that if I could take any Stones album to a desert island with me, I would take Exile on Main Street because it's very personal to me. It has Tumbling Dice on it, which is my favourite song, and I don't know, I just love it from start to finish. Next, I have a question from Harry Young over on Instagram, and his question is favourite band from between 1960 and 1990. Well, I'm going to say it's Rolling Stones because that is the God's honest truth, which you should probably already know that. So I'm going to break it down by year to make it a little bit more interesting. So my favourite band from the 1960s would be the Rolling Stones. From the 1970s, it would be David Bowie. From the 1980s, it would be Motley Crue. And from the 1990s, it would be Suede. My next question is from Barkley over on Instagram, and he asks, have I got any single friends? So Barkley, I'm going to answer this question brutally honestly. I wouldn't recommend any of my friends to go out with you, and I wouldn't recommend you to any of my friends either. Sorry mate, but you are still involved in a lot of playground shit, and my friends deserve better, so no offence dude. Nah is the answer to your question. Another question from Instagram is from Diego. He asks, what things make you feel happy the most? Having a tan. I absolutely adore having a tan at the moment. It is my favourite thing. It makes me feel so confident, it makes me feel pretty, it makes me feel healthy and ready to tackle anything that life throws at me. So I really love having a tan. That's one of my favourite things. What else makes me happy? I really love music. Anything music I absolutely love. That will always make me happy. Playing with my little rat, Teddy, that makes me happy. Eating crave makes me happy as well. I want to say something really like different, but I'm not too sure what else makes me happy. Like maybe like the hip to be square scene from American Psycho makes me happy. Yeah. Keith Joy has asked, is there going to be any changes to the Nos Fest lineup? As of right this second, no. There are no more changes to be made. It's still going to stay with the 10 bands that are on the lineup for Nos Fest 2021. Obviously, I've added Western Sand to that lineup because I wanted to have a bit extra going on because I feel bad, obviously, for it not being able to take place this year. So I added Western Sand. But no, there shouldn't be any more changes. There may be a change with the headline band. I can't really say too much about it or like go into detail, but there may be a slight change with the top bands, but none of the other bands will change. Robbie Robertson asks, have the setbacks of the last few months put you off at all, or are you now more determined that Nos Fest 2021 is going to rock? No, actually, the setbacks that have obviously occurred over the last few months has actually made me in a much better place so that I am more ready to tackle Nos Fest 2021. I'm really excited about it. I'm actually really glad that I had to postpone it this year because my mental health wasn't on point enough for it to really take place this year. I wasn't really paying much attention to it. I wasn't giving it a lot of thought, I wasn't doing my job as a promoter with it. So I'm actually quite happy that I've got a whole other year to do it instead, because I can make it better than what it could have ever have been this year. So in a way that's really helpful. Yes, of course I want it to rock more, hence why I've added Western Sand, because, you know, gotta have some rocking bands on there, so I've added Western Sand. I need to concentrate more on NOS Light to make that quite something a bit special, rather than it just being what it is at the moment. So keep your eyes peeled, I guess, or if you've got any ideas, please let me know, but that's my answer, I think. Mick Rothschild asked, have you ever made your own hummus? No. But I did try and make my own guacamole once, and I broke the blender. Jake Collins has asked, have you ever watched a Martin Luther King documentary? And I'm keeping this question in this video because I know exactly why he asked me that question. When we hanged out a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, he was in Bournemouth, and something went on with a Martin Luther King documentary, and I can't remember if I had a dream about it or he did, but one of us had a dream about it, so only he knows the answer to that question because I don't even know the answer. Ricky Wolf asked, if he wasn't you, who would you like to be and why? I would like to be maybe Paul Weller, just because he is so cool and a musical genius. But honestly, I'm not really too sure. That's a really interesting question as well, and I wish I could answer it in some way that's really interesting. But I can't. I'm trying to think of like an actress or something that I would like to be, but I'm quite happy with being myself. So I'm gonna say Paul Weller, or maybe David Bowie, because his confidence was fucking amazing. I wish I could be that confident. So maybe Paul Weller or David Bowie. I'm just looking around my room. Let's see if there's anybody else I'd much rather be. Paul Weller or David Bowie. Carl Foxall asked, if you could organise any other existing festival, which festival would you like to organise? I'm going to say Download, because it's kind of like the one closest to mine, in like the terms that it's like rock and alternative sort of. I would love to do Glastonbury, to be fair, but I think my knowledge of what's genuinely going on in music lacks. Like, I wouldn't be able to make a better Glastonbury, if you know what I mean. Whereas Download, I think that like I could offer something to that festival and that lineup. So hopefully Nos Fest will be on the line of that, because can you imagine how cool that would be to have like Nos Fest be as big as Download? Goal in life right there. Calico Sparks has asked, what's your favourite whiskey? And I'm going to say Jack Daniels, because that is genuinely my favourite whiskey. I have tried a few other ones. I'm trying to think, maybe like Monkey Shoulder. But genuinely speaking, it's got to be JD. I have Cantrell asked, what's my favourite dinosaur? And my favourite dinosaur is a Velociraptor, because I think that the dinosaur Blue in Jurassic World is so cute and I love her to bits. I think it's a girl and I love her, and so yeah, it's got to be a Velociraptor. Rob Walker asked, is cereal a soup? I really wish that cereal could be a soup, because I would have it for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and quite frankly I do that anyway. But I prefer cereal to soup, so can you imagine if they were the same thing? Life made. Misha Halligan has asked whether I prefer Kraken or Captain Morgan's. And I'm going to say Captain Morgan's. But I'm going to put a little plug in here anyway, for anybody that comes to Nos Fest or supports new wave of classic rock bands. Check out Cloven Hoof Rum. I will leave a link in the description so you can check it out. I'm actually endorsed by the company. They do a spiced rum, which is cloves and stuff, and it's really nice. It's very different to any other rum you will taste, and if you suffer from like colds a lot, and, you know, throat, nasally things. It's really, really good for making a hot toddy with. So, little shout out to Cloven Hoof right there. But yeah, Captain Morgan's is my favourite, mainly because I hadn't really had rum before until Tyler offered me some of his Captain Morgan's and Coke, and it changed my life. So yeah, Captain Morgan's. Emma Black has asked, if you had a choice to be a mod or a rocker in the 60s, who would you be and why? I would be a mod because The Who. The Who are one of my favourite bands ever. I love Pete Townsend to pieces. I adore him, and I absolutely love Keith Moon as well. So it would have to be The Who. And for a while, you know, the Stones were mods too. So Brian Jones was a mod. So, you know, all my favourite bands were mods. You know, the Kinks, Small Faces, everybody was a mod. So for that reason, I'd obviously be a mod. It just happens to be in today's society, mod music is different to rock music, do you know what I mean? That makes sense. So I'm a rocker as of like today speaking, but I'm a mod at heart because, you know, Paul Weller. So Paul Rivers asked me if I would like a hug, and the answer is yes please. So hug. Last question is from Sam Cassell, and he has asked me musical influences, why you got into music, what started Nos Fest, aspirations, and who you want to work with. So I'm going to start off with musical influences, would be David Bowie, the Rolling Stones, Paul Weller, maybe The Who as well, Chris Barris. Why you got into music? My dad's a musician, and I would listen to it. I'd go to all of his band practices and his gigs and listen to him play all the time. So I guess it just kind of came natural as being part of this family. What started Nos Fest? I wasn't in Cardiff. Well, I was in Cardiff, but I wasn't in Cardiff, if that makes sense. Where was I? I was somewhere in the Valley area with my friend Luke, and we just met and hanged out. And I can remember as I was getting on the bus back to Cardiff, I said that I really want to put on my own music festival, and he said that I should do it. So I did, and that's basically what started it, because I'd got into bands like Mason Hill, Massive Wagons, Low Down Crows and Bigfoot, and I wanted them all on my lineup, and I did. So yeah. Aspirations: to be happy, to be successful in what I do in terms of promotion and gig wise, to be happy, to have a good set of decent friends, and to work with bands that I love, like the Struts, Paul Weller, the Stones, Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown, Airborne. Any band like that I would love to work with. So there's some aspirations. And who you want to work with? That's what I answered, isn't it? Getting myself all confused. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more from me, please do subscribe to my channel, and I shall see you on the next one. Bye. I've just realised that I've recorded the whole of this video without my ring light being on. And now I'm really annoyed at myself.